Caroline, I still can't believe what you did. I know it was you who took my earrings. How on earth could you do that? You can't possibly believe that's okay, can you?
Oh, shut up. I'm your mother-in-law, and I have every right to do what I think is right.
What? You think you can just steal from me? Why do you hate me so much?
You understand exactly why that is. I spoke with John already. He already knows you're flirting with other men.
What? Who said that? There's absolutely zero truth in this.
I can't wait to hear your pathetic excuses.
I have nothing to justify. My conscience is clear. Before making these claims, you need to have proof.
This is irrelevant. John has faith in me and intends to end your engagement right now. Before long, he'll be free from any connection with you. Therefore, please refrain from attending the wedding tomorrow. Even if you chose to come, you will find no support from anyone. I have taken care of that matter.
Why on earth are you talking about that? What exactly do you mean by ending the relationship? Up until just a few days ago, everything was going well. There were no problems. What's the matter with you? I'm madly in love with John. Our future together is something we're excited about. Why should something suddenly change now? I don't understand. I'm not sure what I did to deserve this.
Prior to yesterday, everything was going well for me. However, I later learned about you. So you are solely to blame. You never told the truth. You concealed the fact that you resided in a home for misbehaving children, right? Therefore, you deserve everything that comes your way.
Huh? Just give me a second. I never kept that a secret. I know I informed John a while back, so he's been aware of it for ages. He had absolutely no issue with it. I'm certain he must have told you the same.
He didn't tell me because he assumed I might be worried about it. That's why he told me later. He is a thoughtful young man, but I later learned about it from someone else. Honestly, I was completely taken back. You're practically a criminal. You can't justify yourself at this point.
Do you think this is an excuse to attack me just because I grew up in a foster home? A reasonable person would not do that if they knew this information. Gosh, you are the worst.
I advise you to mind your language, you little troublemaker. I have never engaged in any criminal activity throughout my entire life.
This is coming from the person who has stolen my things many times before. At first, I couldn't find my earrings for a month until I accidentally saw them on one of your friends. Do you think that's normal? This is absurd. No one has the right to take my things without permission.
I guess you have a point there. It wasn't right of you to deceive me, was it? That alone is enough reason for me.
I didn't deceive you. Listen, I understand if you have any reservations about my upbringing. I've dealt with that criticism from people my whole life. If I don't take it into mind sufficiently, I apologize.
It's past the point of no return. I won't tolerate your dishonesty. Naturally, after discussing everything with John, it was clear that I had to take action. John agreed that postponing the wedding is the wisest course of action. I couldn't allow him to go through with it, since you're such a nasty spouse.
I know that John could only have agreed to this because you've lied to him. What kind of person would do that? You truly are an awful person.
In my place, any rational mother would do the same. In any case, you're not required tomorrow. I'll tell everyone you cheated on my son and fled with another man if you decide to show up. The wedding will be terrible, even if you manage to con John into taking you back. I guarantee you that. Mark my words.
Just stop it, now. Do you realize how many people you might offend by acting this way? I wouldn't be the only one. John would also find it difficult. Actually, it would be sabotage for the entire wedding ceremony.
And that's great.
Huh. Do you want to embarrass your own son on his wedding day? Is that your point?
Oh, so that's your perspective, huh? As I've been repeatedly saying, your presence is not required. Clearly there's still a significant misunderstanding on your part. As long as you're absent from the wedding, we can continue with all the arrangements smoothly. If you genuinely don't want to create any issues for John, then it's best for you to stay out of this, just as I've been advising you.
How will the wedding day actually go on without the bride?
I've considered it, so don't worry. You know, there's this friend of John's who claims she'd always dreamed of marrying him.
What is this nonsense?
She is the adorable bride of a respected family, unlike you. Therefore, a new bride will be there on the big day to surprise everyone.
I'm sure John doesn't even know about it. Doesn't it seem ridiculous to you?
Oh, so you believe it's impossible, do you? The bride's family happen to be very affluent, and they have a close relationship with the owner of the wedding venue. I've already made all the necessary changes.
This is just unbelievable.
She really is the right person for John.
No one will ever accept this.
Everyone will be delighted. I can't believe it. John will be the happiest he's ever been. I'm telling you, sweetheart, coming here is a big mistake. You better not try to ruin his wedding day. I'll have security throw you out immediately. Additionally, I've already told the venue not to let any of your guests in. So believe me when I say that nobody at this wedding will care about the change of the bride.
I have to say, I've never met anyone like you before. So John is stating that calling off the engagement is okay? I just want to be sure of that.
Don't make me say the same thing twice. I'm a busy person and I don't have time for your meaningless chatter.
Well, I wish you good luck.
I appreciate it. You catch on faster than I anticipated, which is quite helpful. It seems you do possess a sharp intellect despite your upbringing in a foster home. And naturally, you won't mention anything about the earrings, right?
Why do you think so?
If you talk about it, there will be consequences. I'll ruin your life. After all, you shouldn't have thought you were worthy of my son. So it's your fault.
I can't believe you're saying that.
Actually, hold back on telling John anything I just said to you. The bride's family will not allow this wedding to be spoiled. There's no turning back. They have connections to make your life really difficult. That's a threat. Why on earth did I hear that John had visited your home? What is he doing there? Don't tell me you spilled the beans to him. How dare you? He's ignoring me now. I should have known you would go back on your word, you miserable girl. If you mention anything, you'll pay for it.
Caroline, do you still recall all the items you've taken from me? I filed a police report.
What? Why'd you do that? I told you not to.
I'm not going to keep that quiet. Why should I? Theft is something that's punishable by law, and crime deserves punishment. John knew immediately that something was wrong.
What does he have to do with this?
Did you honestly believe that John would simply buy into your convenient excuse of me running off without questioning it? He immediately got in touch with me. And when he discovered that you had already hired security and made arrangements to prevent my guests from entering. Don't you think that raised some suspicion? Do you think that John is foolish or gullible? Both of us are extremely angry about this entire situation. That much is certain. But on top of that, John is feeling deeply offended.
Oh my. Everything is crashing down. You're the source of all my problems, you little brat. What should I do now? I've upset my beloved son and he's ignoring me.
Maybe you can ask the police when they're taking you to the station.
What? What do you mean, police? However, there's no proof. You could just be staging a crime and making everything up. Why should the cops believe you?
You're very attentive for such an old witch. I did a good job with my silver spoons that went missing the last time. And then we saw them in your kitchen. I have hidden cameras all over the house. I only use them because of you.
You're joking. Do you really have cameras? Who installs cameras in their house anyway? You're crazy.
That's normal. All of my friends have cameras. And it's a very convenient thing to punish people like you. Be sure that you will pay for everything you stole, according to the law.
You can't do that. I'm John's mother. Are you seriously considering turning me in? How could you ever entertain such a thought? I can't believe you. Claire!
Caroline, it's time to face the consequences of your actions. You've created this mess, and now you have to deal with it. John deserves to know the truth, and the law will decide what happens next.
Well. Claire, it's been quite a while since we last spoke, hasn't it?
What is it now, Caroline?
I couldn't help but hear through the grapevine that you decided to tie the knot without even consulting me. Who do you think you are, making such a monumental decision without my approval? As a result of your actions, I found myself being arrested and dragged into a legal court case. I certainly didn't deserve any of that. And it's utterly outrageous that such injustices are even allowed in this world. They sentenced me to probation, and needless to say, I lost my job in the process. You know, that cleaning business was my lifeline, my source of stability. And now, on top of everything, you went ahead and married my son, without so much as a courtesy call for my opinion. How much further are you willing to go to humiliate me, Claire? Tell me. Where are you now anyways? I've heard whispers that you moved out of that old apartment. Answer me now! Don't think you can just ignore me and sweep this under the rug. Hey, I recently discovered that you were actually one of the girls Sylvia took. Another instance of deception that you kept hidden from me.
Looks like she's been in touch with you. Yes, it so happened that Sylvia was in charge of the orphanage where I was brought up. She's adored by many other kids as well for all of her excellent attributes.
Anyway, I certainly did not anticipate receiving a call from her. We went to a charitable organization together.
Yes, Sylvia was extra shocked when she found out what you did, because she knew you so well back then. She said she didn't recognize your behavior and that you were a completely different person before. I guess you must have really changed since those days.
Oh, I'm sure you made a lot of stuff up when you discussed everything. She even said she was disappointed in me. How could she have misunderstood what took place? How did you manage to put me in this horrible situation? You have no respect for your elders at all.
I just told her exactly what you did. I see you haven't learned anything in your years of probation.
Well, there's nothing to be done for it now anyway. Against my better judgment, Sylvia talked me into accepting the fact that you married my son. So I'm on my way over to give you my blessing.
What? What the heck is that supposed to mean?
Sylvia quickly gave up your address when I had become a little too emotional on the phone, sobbing and pleading that all I wanted to do was apologize to you. She's a wonderful friend, and she's aware of your best interests.
Sylvia really told you our new address?
Oh yeah, who would have imagined that you'd be in Paris? What an amazing city. I can't wait to get there.
Wait, what? This is some kind of mistake, Caroline.
Hey, I've just arrived. Where is everyone? Come over here immediately. I want to relax before we head out for a city stroll. I'm quite exhausted, you know. I'm currently in the lobby, sitting and waiting for you. I've been waiting a while, so hurry up. Oh, and once we're done, I want to sightsee, so show me the finest spots. I'm sure you're familiar with them all by now.
It must have been a long trip, but we can't go pick you up. It's simply impossible.
Huh? Well, that's rude. I'll be in a difficult situation if you don't come quickly, so please hurry up. I only had enough money to cover my plane ticket to get here. I'm begging you, come pick me up. Hurry!
First of all, why are you contacting me? Why didn't you contact your son?
Because he's ignoring my messages. My own son. Can you believe that? How ungrateful of him. So I had no alternative but to get in touch with you, sadly.
Oh, really? That's all you can say to me? You know, I could block you at any point. And maybe I should have already. John has already told me it's fine to ignore anything from you.
You better not block me, so that you'll know when I arrive. In any case, my buddy Sylvia told me where you were residing. No, you couldn't just leave me without a fight. That shows she realizes I'm right. Sylvia agreed that you should come and make things right with me.
I'm curious about it. It seems like she had a genuine desire to ensure my safety. You see, I informed Sylvia that if you were truly showing signs of remorse, she could give our whereabouts to you. We had already anticipated the possibility of you rushing over to see us, so she would have given us a heads up. I was slightly concerned when you contacted me unexpectedly.
What are you on about? I don't understand what you're saying. This is all so tedious. Just get over here.
Do you still not get it? Don't you see that even your old friend has totally given up on you?
What are you referring to? Absolutely nothing you say is coherent. Come here right away.
Caroline, we don't live in Paris.
Don't be stupid. Sylvia told me everything.
Yeah, well, we've never even been to Paris.
What are you saying? You're telling me that Sylvia lied to me?
That's right.
But Sylvia would be the last person to do such a thing.
She does really have a tender heart. She thus frequently displayed sympathy, even when it wasn't in her best interests. It has been really duped several times by people. But she continued to harbor a spirit of generosity in her heart.
That's the kind of gentle person that Sylvia is.
And from the time I was in her home, she always told me she wanted me to be a person who could show true gentleness to others too. That's how she raised me.
So Sylvia couldn't possibly have lied to me about this. She's not the type of person to act that way. That's how I can be sure that in fact you're lying. After all, Sylvia gave me the money for the ticket.
Yes. She mentioned that you pretended to cry and even pleaded with her for money to come here. However, she saw through all of it. She was really upset that she didn't realize the extent of your transformation. The airfare was given to you by Sylvia as a parting gift. Sylvia had hoped to provide you with a chance at a different life and to defeat the darkness within you. Ultimately, she told us that you showed no remorse whatsoever, which is why she refused to give you our address.
Huh? What are you saying?
I understand now that Sylvia has completely lost hope in your ability to change. She also mentioned how closely connected you were through charitable organizations and even more than that. Even if you had genuinely demonstrated remorse, I don't believe she would have disclosed my whereabouts. Well, you may have been her old friend. She played a pivotal role in raising me. As I mentioned before, many of the children who grew up in her home regard her as a mother figure.
You're saying Sylvia likes you more than me?
She has helped raise a lot of kids, including me. You're the kind of person who despises people like me. Well, she spent most of her life defending us. She won't likely give up her entire life's work for people like you, in my opinion.
This is some kind of mistake. You don't really live in Paris?
That's what I told you.
What should I do right now? I'd planned to reside here with you two. I no longer have funds for travel or a hotel. I essentially have nothing.
So you thought you could fly here without a penny in your pocket?
Well, you must help me. After all, we are family, right? Are you there, Claire?
I made the decision to block my mother-in-law, and it turned out to be a wise move. Now I don't have to endure her impulsive outbursts and insults. I encouraged Sylvia to follow suit, urging her to let go of the toxicity from her past and block Caroline as well. However, Sylvia maintained contact with her ex-girlfriend for some time. It was through her that I learned about the unfolding events. As it turns out, Caroline chose to remain in Paris and embark on a fresh start. Initially, she seemed genuinely committed to changing and improving herself. Sylvia, showing kindness, covered Caroline's room and board expenses. Despite Caroline's persistent promises to secure employment, it became evident that they were merely empty words. Instead of taking responsibility for her life, Caroline indulged in a lifestyle of partying at clubs and at restaurants. When her friend eventually ceased sending money, Caroline found herself unable to dig herself out of the hole that she had jumped into. While I feel a bit of sympathy for Sylvia, grappling with the loss of her friend, I consistently offer my support by emphasizing that life continues. I reassure her that even in the face of seemingly insurmountable challenges, there is always a way forward. It's crucial to appreciate life and find joy in the little things, because only then can we truly live it to the fullest.